This is Substitute Topher here, filling in for the Topher today in the middle of the mountains, which is very beautiful because it's fall time, in Asheville, North Carolina, driving the 2022 VW Golf R. This is the Mark 8 Golf R. We've got a 6-speed manual transmission in this particular car today. Super excited to go take this on a spirited drive. If you're subscribed to the Topher, you probably saw our Mark 8 GTI review. The inside of this car is pretty much the same. We've got our same sort of wraparound gauge display infotainment screen with no physical buttons. The Topher didn't care for this too much, so I guess we'll have to see what I think of it today on our drive. Steering wheel's the same way, haptic feedback buttons, headlight switch, all of that. The only actual buttons you have in the car are the start-stop button, the handbrake, and the window switches. And that's really about it. As far as the seats go, they're pretty similar to the ones in the GTI, except they say R on them. They've got this sort of like carbon fiber style print around the seats. And if you look very closely, there are some blue sort of accents under this perforation, as well as a little blue accent there on the top of the seat. This is all, I was going to say like carbon, but it doesn't look like carbon. It's like some sort of different material. I would say the overall styling of the interior, it's very, very minimalist. I mean, look at this down here. We've got a gear stick, a fake parking brake, and our start-stop button, and that's it. There's nothing else down here. So that's interesting. We've got this trick cup holder as well that fits a normal cup, but then oh man, Volkswagen always has fun little gizmos like that. Let's get out and do a little walk around of this thing before we take off on our spirited drive here. Finished in our classic sort of Golf R blue. Don't have the sort of honeycomb fog lights that the Golf GTI has. Headlights, grille, everything like that is the same. We've got our little LED strip that goes across the grille, but instead of red, we have blue because this is an R. Silver mirror caps. Quad exhaust tips. This hot hatch is suffering from a case of dirty boot syndrome today. It's filthy, but it was raining this morning, so give them that. No spare tire in this Golf R, just what appears to be a sub or an amp or something. I don't know, it's got a plug going into it, so we can only assume. Quite a bit of room back here in the back. I think that the way that they've styled this new Mark 8 for the R, it's very proper, it's very on brand. The R has never been about being super crazy and flashy. So I think this is a nice sort of understated look. Fits along nicely with the GTI. There's one right over there. So pretty cool. We still have all-wheel drive in this car. And what do we have for tires today? We have some Bridgestone Summer Performance tires, Potenza Sports, very good. Very good tire. I've actually got these on my Lexus. Cool. All right. Look at that. We've even got a little blue stitching and trim on our floor mats here. All right. Rear leg room, standard Golf stuff. You know, I've got plenty of room back here. We've got heated rear seats in this Golf R. Comes standard on all of them. We've also got our own little climate control and 2 USB-C ports. It's such a minimalist interior in this thing, and I think even more so with the R, just because the colors are a little bit more muted. All right, well, I can't wait any longer. I got to go out on the road and drive this thing. Oh, man, I've been hearing these all day. I just got out of the GLI and the GTI, and I haven't yet driven the R, so I'm so excited to finally have a go in this thing. Something kind of silly. You have to like slam the crap out of the driver's door to get it to shut. All right, we've got our sat nav back to the hotel here. Fake parking brake down, which I don't really like because I feel like as a hot hatchback it should have a proper handbrake. But looking at the rest of this interior, do you really think they'd put a proper handbrake in this thing? Absolutely not. Move my seat back a little here. That feels better. All right, so far it feels just like the GTI. But for the first time ever, we've got over 300 horsepower in a Golf R. This thing's got 315 horsepower, so that's pretty cool. And being that we no longer have the Focus RS on the market, this is the only all-wheel drive hot hatch, right? Because the Civic Type R, that's front-wheel drive. Veloster N, that's front-wheel drive. All the Minis, those are front-wheel drive. Unless you count the Countryman, but that's kind of in a different league. All right, let's see what we've got for drive modes in this thing. Sport, race, and custom. I think also if you hit this R button here. Yes, okay. If you hit the R button, the whole cluster changes. We've got race, drift, and I don't know if you caught that. This car has a Nürburgring mode. It's called special mode, but it's got the little Nürburgring logo, and they mentioned that in the presentation earlier. It's got a special mode for the Nürburgring. How cool is that? I know James May certainly wouldn't like that, but I think it's kind of cool. Ooh, we've got some bassy exhaust notes here. Okay, it's pretty quick. I wouldn't say it's blowing my mind with how fast it is, but it's quick. It's noticeably faster than the GTI, so that's kind of all that matters. Oh, yes. Pops and burbles. I hope you can hear that on camera. That sounds awesome. Don't appear to have any auto. Ooh, not gonna want climate. Don't appear to have. What does drift mode do? Gives me red. ESC Sport. Ooh, very, very snappy throttle response there in drift mode. Wow, just around that very vague corner back there, it felt very rear-wheel drive biased. Let's try out Nürburgring mode. Wow, it's green. Always got to test out the rev limiter. Got a shift indicator there on our left and a G meter on the right. That is customizable. I'm surprised it leaves the lane keep assist on when you're in Nürburgring.